The new series of Secret Lives. Will the real Walt Disney please step forward?
(1922), Kansas City, Missouri. A young man fired from his job as a cartoonist by a boss who says he can't draw gets by making silent cartoons for local theaters. He's not a skilled artist, and these first attempts at animation are crude and one-dimensional. His drawing will never really progress, but within 2 decades, he will have transformed animation into an American art form. His name is Walter Elias Disney.
Walt has been sheltered by everybody, like the American flag. You don't dare say anything against Walt because it's like spitting on the flag. Walt did a lot of things that were reprehensible and completely unlike the image of Uncle Walt. Uncle Walt was a rascal.
Bill Melendez works as an animator, a few miles from the site of the original Disney studio in Los Angeles. Nowadays, he produces the Snoopy cartoons for American television. But as a young man of 23, he just joined the Walt Disney Studio as it was about to enter its golden age. The year was 1937.
I was a newcomer, and I said, "Good morning, Mr. Disney." Stopped right away, and he said, "Call me Walt." Oh, boy, that is great. Oh, man, what a boss, huh? Call me Walt.
In the world's film capital is the studio that stands as a monument to the great genius of Walt Disney, master of a new form of popular art that has captivated millions of moviegoers. With the antics of his entrancing animated cartoon characters, he has built an enterprise that employs 700 skilled and highly specialized artistic workers.
Right around Snow White time, Walt started a campaign all over the country of encouraging people to apply for work at the Disney studio.
So he rounded up artists from all over the country, sent them to school, taught them how to draw, sent them to art school to learn body movement, animal movement, and pushed them hard.
You knew that you were surrounded by some very good artists, and that it was a challenge to live up to the caliber work that was being done all around you, that you were exposed to every day. And you knew that Walt himself demanded the very best.
We worked from 7 in the morning until 10 at night. And I was glad to do it because I believed in what we were doing. And I believed in Walt.
Everybody loved the studio. Everybody joyfully worked overtime, put in all the hours needed without any pay. Everybody liked each other and liked Walt.
We called him Walt. I mean, this was what we thought was kind of a privilege. I mean, we were all sort of a big group, you know, who could be that friendly with the boss.
Sometimes somebody would say, "Oh, hi there, Mr. Disney," and he'd say, "Uncle Walt, Uncle Walt."
Snow White was a spectacular hit. During its initial run, it played to an audience of 20 million, grossing more than $8 million at a time when the average ticket price was just 25 cents. At last, Disney had the money to put his most ambitious ideas onto the screen. And for the making of his next feature, no expense was spared. Pinocchio took a team of 750 artists 3 years to make. Disney was determined to produce a masterpiece, and in his pursuit of perfection, he allowed no detail of their work to escape his attention.
He knew when animation was great. If it wasn't, he'd send it back. He was a tough man to work for. He was a taskmaster. But he knew what he wanted to achieve and wasn't satisfied until he got it.
Get along there.
Pinocchio had cost $2.6 million to produce, a staggering amount for the time. The spiraling costs were the result of Disney's willingness to invest heavily in key scenes. This sequence, in Stromboli's caravan, had taken a team of animators several months to make. Its use of both light and movement were groundbreaking.
I think Pinocchio, in particular, amongst the Disney films, is really a great work. It's the best animated feature probably ever made.
During the making of Pinocchio, the studio's technical department made a series of breakthroughs. The most important of these was the revolutionary multiplane camera. It was to prove crucial to the visual style of the film. In an early scene, the camera tracks across the rooftops of the village where Pinocchio lives. As the specially constructed camera moves through a series of backgrounds, a three-dimensional effect is created. Disney was enormously pleased with his new toy. He told his animators, "It was always my ambition to own a swell camera, and now, goddammit, I got one." Disney had outgrown the ramshackle old Hyperion studio, and in May 1940, he moved to a futuristic new headquarters at Burbank. At the new purpose-built studio, Disney introduced a high degree of specialization amongst his workforce, transforming animation into a production line process. Here at last was the rationally planned factory Disney had dreamed of, and he was anxious to show it off to the world.
5125, check.
The Reluctant Dragon was Disney's first ever live-action film. It was a behind-the-scenes look at the new animation factory. The film painted a distinctly Disney-fied picture of the studio, in which an army of smiling, white-coated workers go happily about their tasks.
Don't tell me you cook all this yourselves.
Uh-huh. The girls add a couple of hundred different chemicals to it, and then it all goes through the paint mill.
The paint mill?
But for the artists who moved to the new studio, the reality of working at Burbank didn't really live up to Disney's rose-tinted vision.
The studio in Burbank had been a dream of his, and he built it, and he built a state-of-the-art studio. And I think there'd been an implicit promise that when they moved from there, from Hyperion Avenue or Boulevard, where they'd all been cramped in this old, I think it was been a dairy, that life would be better for all of them, not just for Walt. I think they got there and found that instead of it being an improvement, it was in some human ways not an improvement. You know, it was much more of a factory-like atmosphere, much less casual.